the year. Yada, I get all that. But Cam Newton last year was injured. And so for me, I put Baker in front of him, got no problem with that. Carson Wentz, this is not his second year. This was his third year. And his second year, he was unbelievable. He was third in the player vote, the top 100. I think he was third in the top 100. I got no problem with that. But this was for 2018. He was injured. I got no problem with Baker Mayfield being ranked in front of Cam or Carson Wentz. Now, I got to push back when you talk about ranking him in front of Matt Ryan. Skip, Matt Ryan was 76 yards for passing for 5,000. He actually passed for 20 yards fewer and had 3 fewer touchdowns than when he won the MVP. Matt Ryan was 49-24, 35-7. And they got Baker Mayfield ranked 19 spots in front of him. Deshaun Watson was 1 spot behind him. He was 41-65, 26-9. Baker was 37-25, 27-14. Baker's it right now.
Sure.
He's hot.
Yeah.
Hot as fish grease, Skip. And maybe they're trying to project moving forward what Baker's going to be. But based on 2018, he should not have been ranked in front of Matt Ryan. He should not have been ranked in front of Deshaun Watson. Look, for me, the guys vote how they vote. But I would not have voted Baker Mayfield in front of Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield in front of Deshaun Watson. Would I have put him in front of Carson Wentz and Cam Newton? Yes, because last year I believe they were injured and they did not play up to the levels they are capable of playing at, and Baker had a better year statistically, and so I would have put Baker in front of those two. But in front of Matt Ryan, in front of Deshaun Watson, absolutely not.
So, just for the record, I always tell you, I believe all the quarterbacks should be ranked a lot higher on this list than they are. And this list is voted upon by players. Yet, I do agree with this order, and I'll tell you why. I base my evaluation of Baker Mayfield on 2 things. Number 1 is arm strength, and number 2 is leadership. Includes quickness of release, because Baker has a quick trigger, man. But look at what the Madden people evaluated Baker's, what they call throwing power. They put him 6th on their list of, let's just call it arm strength. 6th. Guess what? Cam was 7th, so he was 1 notch behind Baker. And Deshaun was 23rd. By the way, Carson Wentz was 15th, but he ranked low in the survey. And then Matt Ryan brought up the rear in throwing power. He was 31st on that list. So he's a soft arm thrower. Who throws for a lot of yards. He's had Julio. He's had a great core of receivers.
Tony Gonzalez,
But when we get to leadership intangibles, I'll take Baker any Sunday or Sunday night or Monday night over Matt Ryan. And I love Matt. Had him on shows. He's a fine guy. You know him. He's a really good guy.
He is. He's a great guy.
But I don't consider Matt Ryan a born leader. Baker Mayfield was born to lead. Maybe he was born to lead kind of an outlawish team, but that's what he's made up of. His fire, his guts, his courage, just everything, it just oozes out of him, and it gets to be contagious. As Jenny knows from covering all the Oklahoma games, he took over that program, just the way he's taken over the Browns franchise. They want to follow Baker into battle because they know this guy fears nobody, no way, no how. So when it's push comes to shove, Baker's going to trash talk in the peak moments of the game, and he's going to back it up. So he's got the arm strength, and he has the intangibles that equal Brett Favre's. But here's the difference. He's got a lot of Favre's fire in him, but Brett Favre was never that close to any of his teammates. Baker wants to party with everybody. Doesn't matter what color you are. Look at Odell. He loves to hang out with Baker. That's one of his favorite people.
Brett partied on his own because he figured too many of you guys would draw attention to it, so I could hang out in Buckhead by myself, and
you know what?
Anyone wouldn't know.
True. but did Favre hang with a bunch of teams ever?
You know what? I think maybe once he got to Green Bay, Skip, I think he was close to some of the linemen.
Maybe.
Baker, I'm sure he's close to the linemen, but Baker is a guy that's going to gravitate more towards the wide receiver and the running backs because they have the personality, the persona that he most exhibits.
All right. And a lot of those are black guys, so you got a connection.
But he got that swag. You see him dancing. He got swag.
And he can dance.
Yes.
And he can party.
Yes.
Maybe that's not always the best thing, but that's who he is and why he drives this franchise. So then I look at the rest of the guys on the list. Remember, he's only one slot ahead of Deshaun.
Right.
I love Deshaun. I still believe in Deshaun. I believe
Deshaun's a leader, Skip.
He is a leader. Different. He's more of a... He's a quiet leader. He's not an outward emotional leader, Deshaun, but he led against Alabama twice in those championship games. He led that whole Clemson program, so I don't discount that at all. But would I give Baker just a tiny slight edge? Yeah, I'll give it a slight edge, but it's only 51st to 50th.
Skip, but I can't. Matt Ryan is 69th. He had 1,200 more yards, 8 more touchdowns, and 7 fewer interceptions.
And the team did what?
The same as Baker's, missed the playoffs.
Okay. But was the team projected to miss the playoffs? No, they just been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And what happened to Matt Ryan in the Super Bowl? He had a great first half and a not-so-great second half,
But
right?
I thought we weren't doing that. I thought we had the Lifetime Achievement Award because the previous year he was ranked, I think, top 10. But for me, Skip, like I said, this is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. And if I were to be voting, I'm looking at what did you do in 2018?
Who would Shannon Sharp rather play with and for? Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield?
Oh, my God, Skip.
I think it's Baker. Listen, if you'd be around him.
Matt Ryan.
No.
Old Matty
Ice.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he was your neighbor.
You're just saying that because we want you to say Baker.
Yeah.
Skip, come on, Skip. 5,000. The man basically put up the exact same numbers that he won the MVP with.
Okay.
Skip, you know their defense was riddled with injuries. We don't look. And that's the thing. When the quarterback wins, he gets all the credit. When they lose, they get all the blame, no matter what happens on the defensive side of the football. Tom Brady's getting a bunch of credit for the Super Bowl, and he was on the team that won. But to diminish what that defense was able to do to the number 2 scoring offense in all of football would be disingenuous, Skip.
Okay, is Matt Ryan made of that stuff, that it guy stuff?
I don't know whatever it is, but it should not be 69th.
Yeah. But this was voted on by other players, we have to remember. So maybe they're not looking at the numbers the same way you are examining the season he had. I mean, Baker has all the hype.
Yeah,
the potential.
He's hot right now.
So here's what's phenomenal about Baker's rise. Do you remember early last football season when I used to come in here and bang this table?
I do.
What is Hugh Jackson doing to Baker Mayfield? It started during Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the classic scene? He calls him in and says, I want to inform you, I'm paraphrasing, but I want to inform you, Baker, you just won the backup quarterback over Drew Stanton. Remember, they're both sitting in Hugh's office.
Well done.
We had Hugh on.
You admitted that was a mistake.
Yeah,
He did.
It was a mistake.
Glad he
Okay,
admitted that.
but still, then he has to start Tyrod just because Tyrod was his guy. And what I keep telling you, no, this is the guy. You let him go. Remember, I told you they'll make the playoffs if they let Baker start from the start.
Well, they could have made the playoffs if their kicker wouldn't shanked all them balls, Skip. They had Pittsburgh on the ropes. They had New Orleans on the ropes. They had the Raiders.
Well, maybe if Baker's the quarterback, maybe he doesn't shank those balls. Maybe he just wills them in.
Oh, my goodness. So, you know what, Skip? You ought to appreciate yourself.
A quarterback can lift a whole franchise where everyone starts to believe.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened with Mason Crosby. Oh, Aaron Rodgers lifted tied, and that's why he kicked those cross-country field goals that you're talking about.
That's a long time ago.
That wasn't a long time ago. That was just a couple of months ago.
But it's true. I think he lifted the whole boat up against the rising tide, and Mason Crosby went right along with him.
Like I said, you want to put him in front of Cam and Carson Wentz because they missed time. They were injured last year. I got no problem. But I'm going to have to give some resistance to Matt Ryan's 69th. Matt Ryan's the 69th best player in the football. Man, that's ridiculous.
Well, the truth is you could take all these quarterbacks and they all should be in the top 20 of the ranking.
Right.
Because it's quarterback.
Okay.
But if you're doing that, then Baker's a top 10 quarterback.
And then you look at it, but Skip, when you look at the guys that's in front of Matt Ryan, really? So are the guys that's in front of Matt Ryan, you would take them to start your franchise over Matt Ryan?
I would not.
And no, nobody would.
Nobody would. That is the truth.
The expectations in Cleveland. I just can't wait to see how this one plays out. We got to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Will he actually sit out games
Sit it down,
this
Zeke.
season? We'll discuss all of the latest next.